Now, just a couple of points I want to make in relation to the way in which we say Surah al-Fatihah in our prayer. If we are reciting loudly, then it is appropriate that we should try to beautify our recitation as much as possible. But don't do that in such a way that all you're focusing on is your melody. What you need to be focusing on is the meanings of the words that you're actually saying, to actually offer the praise and the recognition of Allah's attributes uh, in the way that you should. And then telling him, you alone we serve and you alone we ask for help, in a statement of devotion and need, and then asking for guidance as though you actually feel the need for guidance, and then elaborating on what the path is, the straight path that you want to be on, who you want to be with and who you don't want to be with. So we need to be mindful of the communication that is going on. This is not something that we just sing to make a nice sound and then that's it. No, the whole point is to actually express this with meaning to our Lord. And I want to draw your attention, secondly, and importantly, to then the way that we say this in a silent prayer. Because in a silent prayer, of course, the opportunity to be melodious isn't there. But the way in which we say the words of Surah al-Fatihah in a silent prayer reveal a lot about what's actually going on for us in reality with it when it comes to our prayer. Because many of us, because it's a silent prayer, we might just mumble through the words, you know. But there's a way to actually say the words in Surah al-Fatihah, even in a silent prayer, in such a way that is still meaningful. So, for example, if I were to now say in English, quietly, relatively quietly, the words of Surah al-Fatihah, I would go say something like this. I begin in the name of God, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy. All praise belongs to God, Lord of all that exists, the Lord of mercy, the giver of mercy, master of the day of judgment. You alone we serve, and you alone we ask for help. Guide us on the straight path, the path of those whom you favored, not of those who have incurred your anger, nor of those who have gone astray. May it be so. Right? Now, if that is even in a quiet voice, obviously I said it a bit louder than if I completely whispered it, obviously you wouldn't be able to hear. But in a quiet voice, you're still able to be expressive enough. Now, if you bring that to the Arabic, then, for example, there's a big difference between what we often do, which is something like this. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Right? So oftentimes when we are silently saying the words, then we might just rush through them. And often because we're not, even though we might be familiar with the meanings of Al-Fatiha, we're not that familiar with the Arabic, and sometimes, and because of the repetitive nature of it in our experience, we can just lose connection with what we're actually saying. So we're not really expressing any meaning through the words. Whereas, of course, if we were to be mindful of the meanings of the words, then our expression might slow down a little bit and sound something more like this. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. Now, if we are saying these words with even a minimum understanding of the meaning of the words, it's quite hard to say Al-Fatiha much faster than how I've just said it now, because it's just not appropriate for the words that we're saying and who we're talking to. Just as we would find it disrespectful or consider it disrespectful for us to speak to someone or for them to speak to us in a way that's very, very fast, mumbling, not very clear, not very expressive. We would see that as inappropriate or perhaps a form of disrespect. Of course, with our Lord, it's even more the case that we should be careful about our manner of expression. And so I just want to highlight that to you. When you're in a loud prayer, recite beautifully, but be mindful of the meaning. And in a silent prayer, don't just mumble, but try to express the words meaningfully, conscious of what you're actually saying. And then the power of Al-Fatiha you will truly experience and you will truly feel, and you will be a good way along the way to making your prayer, if you like, a presentable one, and hopefully an acceptable one too. All right, try that out in your next salah and see how it goes. Take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. How did you find that? I hope it was useful. If so, hit the like button, leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel.